Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 1 p.m. on Saturday in Hong Kong. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. We have some announcements before we get started tonight. The Inspired 24 published their first press release. Let me show you that. You sure?
Sure.
All right. So this has been around for about a year, but they wanted to make it official a couple days ago. And I'll share the link in just a second, but I wanted to make sure you knew that this is a great group. And actually, we found out about it from our show with Rob Watson. Actually, it's the most popular show. It's been viewed the most. And then we had a couple of other people from the group on our show. And you can read through this if you like. Link to the site, motto, different things. And we will be putting out many, many more press releases in due time because there's some really cool things happening with the group. People are getting involved. We've been invited to participate in Yuri's Night and the Galactic Diversity and Inclusion Convention. Got some cool patches and logos and a mosaic. So that's we're gonna have more information about that eventually here for you. All right, the next thing I wanted to tell you about,
Not only have we had people from Inspire 24 on our show, we've had people on our show join Inspire 24.
That's true. That's right. So wanted to remind people that the Audience Talent Show will happen when we have your input. We will make a show. We actually heard back from our guests, so stay tuned for an episode with him. And the time change is happening here in the United States. Most places. We spring ahead on March the 12th here in the U.S., so our show will be an hour offset. But some places change too, or they change a week later. So this is a time of year to watch for that kind of thing. And I want to acknowledge that we've been chatting with Cliff, and I see Scott came in. Thanks so much for joining us in the chat. Well, we can show those in a minute if you like.
But we've been talking about rain and snow.
Yes. Weather.
Rain both here and in Australia, and snow in the mountains, Northern California, and apparently, according to Scott, in Acton last
couple weeks ago. Yeah. All right. So why don't you kick us off?
Okay.
Oh, and here's that. I'm sharing that link now. Okay. Thanks for waiting.
Tonight's topic is Eclipses of 2023. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. Every year there are 4 or 6 eclipses at various times. They show up somewhere in the world. Tonight we'll talk about a great tool to help you learn about them every year, and we'll delve into the ones for 2023.
And I'll just show you the great tool right now. Well, something I really love. This is the one I get, and it's under $10. Comes out August, September, right in that time frame. And I have a couple other tools too that I can share with you. Did we get a? That was nope, that was me. All right, so let me go over and start talking about these things. Go ahead and share screen, Jeff. Thank you. So in the Old Farmer's Almanac, and this one happens to be 2023, is a page devoted to the eclipses. And they say right up front, there'll be 4. 2 of the sun, 2 of the moon. Solar eclipses are visible only in certain areas and require eye protection. To be viewed safely, please protect your eyes. Lunar eclipses are visible from the entire night side of Earth, but during a penumbral, it's not very exciting. So here are the ones for this year, April 19 to 20, annular total eclipse of the sun. It's going to be visible from southern Indian Ocean, parts of Antarctica, most of Australasia, Indonesia, Philippines, most of Oceania, and the Western Pacific Ocean. This is a hybrid, and that's the first time I remember hearing about one that was called hybrid, seen as an annular total depending on viewing location along its path. It's not visible from the North America. Sorry about that, folks. The next one is May 5th. It's a penumbral eclipse of the moon. And that's how these usually go. Solar, lunar. Or, well, I don't know. We'll have to see if anybody in the audience knows if it's the opposite for every year. Because, of course, they follow each other. Probably changes from year to year. The penumbral eclipse of the moon is visible from Antarctica, Oceania, Australasia, Asia, Europe, Africa, and south of Georgia in the southern Sandwich Islands. This is not visible from North America either.
Oh, and just to be clear, South Georgia refers to the country of Georgia, in the near Russia, part of the former Soviet Union, not Georgia as in the state in the
So
US.
that seems odd if it's Antarctica. Well, but this is the moon.
It's got Europe, Africa, and
yeah,
that is a part of
okay.
Asia that's near Africa.
All right. Well, and I have some other links that we'll see a little bit more detail, but I really like this because it has a good coverage of all of them for the year, and it just kind of gives you basics. Oh, can I look for that? Probably not. In North America, this one, same. On October 14th, though, an annular eclipse of the sun, it's partially visible from North America. Let's see, they talk about it. It's a narrow path that runs through Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas.
So it's going to miss us in California here.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Especially Southern California.
Yeah, and these have a much narrower footprint and a really narrow band of what they call totality. Partially visible, most of North America. This annular phase is visible. Okay, I read that part. And they talk about times. Just depends on where you are. The October 28th partial eclipse of the moon. It's visible from eastern North America too. The moon will rise during the eclipse and observers will only see a penumbral eclipse. Again, not very exciting because they have sort of two areas and they show it here because the sun is huge. So you're going to get sort of a kind of, this is where it's really exciting when you have an eclipse in the umbra part. The penumbra, you might not even notice. But for scientific purposes, these are the 4 for the year.
Yeah, and basically, if it's in the penumbra, the moon gets a little bit dimmer. Depending on how deep into the penumbra it is, it might not even be noticeably dim.
Yeah, most of the time, people don't really know. When it's in this kind of lighter shaded part, it's the umbra when we see that glowy reddish color of the lunar eclipse. Mm-hmm. All right, so more details can be found, and Dawn just updated this whole page for you, and she has some really nice information about how it deeply affects us. But I really like that she kind of delves into this a little bit more, definition of, and just some different information on what it is, how it works. And she did some really, really great graphics. Look at that. She created those herself. So please take a look at that. And we can grab a link for that.
Well,
yeah, I'll grab them and give them to you at the end.
Dawn's a friend of yours. If we get her on this stuff, we don't have to scrounge the web for some of these graphics. We'll just have her do it.
It's okay. Well, it depends on what she would like to.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Oh, Cliff says, I have friends in Texas and Mexico that I'm going to hit up for a bet on their couch.
Are you talking about 2024, Cliff? All right. So, yeah, she delves into the illustrations, what they're about, how they work. I mean, it's really, really nice page to, this one's kind of general, and then this one kind of gets into it more details. And it's a great way to kind of learn things, to go from like kind of more general information to some more specific information. And there's a really, really good graphic about that. Solar and lunar eclipse dynamics. All right. Frequency of. This is where she talks about, that can be a maximum of 7. Okay, see, I did not know that. The year contains 7. There'll be 4 solar and 3 lunar. All right, complex orbit of the moon. She was talking to me about this stuff before because we don't have an eclipse every month. The moon will appear between the sun and the earth in its orbit, but it's not directly between the sun and the earth. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it kind of is a little bit offset. It's not on the exact same plane as Earth Sun.
Yeah, exactly. And I think she's got one of these. I thought one of these described that. No, maybe not. Yeah, see, it's not perfectly circular like this. It is a little tilted. Oh, there's a good one. She's even got the symbols for ascending and descending node, and I can never remember which one is which. But I have a tool. I created something for myself. Let's see what it says. All right, so let's see. This one here that's sort of open on the bottom is the ascending node, so it comes kind of above this ecliptic plane, and the other one that has an opening upward is the descending node. Lots to learn here, folks, and Dawn knows, and she's got some great resources that she puts together these pages from.
No, and Cliff says, "Well, thanks for the time change."
Yes, it's going to be over this weekend.
Yeah, so next week will be an hour
different.
Will be an hour earlier for some people.
Okay, and I know some other places changed their times too. Oh, hey Dave, welcome.
Hey Dave, there's a total eclipse in Australia. The only place on Earth to see it will be the town of Ningaloo, Thursday, 20th April, 2023. Yeah, we covered that in more general terms.
That first one, and I have a little more detailed page over here in a minute too. But I just wanted to, one
more. And
oh, hi.
While Exmouth is in complete darkness for just over a minute, the rest of Western Australia will experience a partial solar eclipse.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. See, that's why we need you too. All right. So, and she really goes into some stuff. I never heard of this term, Saros cycle. And Saros.
Or is it Saros or Saros?
Yeah, well, maybe Dawn will show up and she'll tell us. And I think it explains about, let's see, predicted eclipses. Below 3 moons. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read this more thoroughly. But there were a lot of things to do to get ready for tonight's show. So I encourage you to come here and read these too. All right, and I really love these kinds of charts. It shows all kinds of different ones and where they kind of land on the Earth.
And David says, the town has already swelled 1,000%.
1,000%. Wow, and it's still about a month away. Okay, that's awesome though. All right, so okay, Evan Haley named that. Suda. There is a lot of great stuff in here. I too must read the rest of this page thoroughly. Yep, caution. They're called rare, but due to regular stable orbits of the moon and Earth attached to each other, the observable effects of gravity, the planet Earth and its moon have been orbiting our sun for millions of years. 4.5 billion, yeah, I can believe that. Regular state, they're considered to be in stable orbits. Yeah, okay, so they can be calculated. That's what's going on there. All right. So again, definitely come to this page and read all about it. All right, so we're going to delve a little bit deeper into details, and I really love these sites, and they're basically created by Fred Espenak, and you probably have heard that name before because Fred's been around for a very, very long time. In fact, I saw somewhere he's done 5,000 years worth of eclipses. But what I really like this is you can jump to the different parts of the page. I've actually put them up as separate tabs. But just so you know, this is a good place to start. And then you can jump to any of them, especially if it's going to be in your area. You may not care so much if it's not going to be where you are. All right, so like I said, you click on these links and they just pop down to the right page. I'm going to go ahead and look at this. And, you know, we were trying to figure out what this is called, this sort of pattern of lines and arcs here.
Oh, here. Cliff just said, hey, Dave, do you want me to drag you over there. My daughter lives in Perth. I don't know. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good. You got a little time. Maybe it's space that you might run into trouble with. All right, so Fred has created these images that cover where it is, and this dark line in the middle is the basic path of, often called totality. But with a with a solar eclipse, it's more of a totality than with a lunar eclipse. But then there's all these areas that can see some of the eclipse as well, and you can see the geographical map kind of laid out underneath it.
Yeah. So,
and if anybody knows what this is called, Dave, please help us out. We were trying to figure out what this is. This actual graph overlaid on the surface of this Earth that's drawn here.
yeah. Oh, and Dave says, humans have feared eclipses for centuries. I did a story of this once. Pope Calixtus III excommunicated Halley's Comet in 1456 as an instrument of the devil.
I didn't know you could excommunicate a comet.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Well, if you feel powerless, you do something that that can't be contested to make yourself
I
feel
see.
a little. In the following century, the appearances of comets were seen by Inca and Aztec astrologers as signs of divine wrath, leading to the downfall of those empires to Spain.
Yeah, and today we do know a little more about them. Mm-hmm. All right, so this generally just keeps going and tells you all about it.
And David continues, omens would include crop failures, diseases, deaths of royalty, or other such catastrophic events.
I wonder if they actually occurred, because I mean, the death of a royal, suppose some could arrange that, but crop failures, that's possibly.
In Europe, there's, especially in those days, there was probably a royal dying almost every year.
Oh,
they had so many different royals. So, look, a royal died during an eclipse. Ooh,
must be true.
Yeah,
got it. All right. So yeah, there's definitely, and you can click for a larger, more detailed figure.
Daniel says,
see, we thought about that too, but that's not quite what this curvy graph is overlaid against the globe of the Earth.
Unless Daniel, they're reusing the term, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. And we did see it somewhere, but then we saw some other things. Is like, well, and if anybody knows, Dave, help me out. We would love to have the exact name, what this thing is called. Yeah,
the analemma is a good guess, and it's what I've seen, but I don't have high confidence in it.
Yeah, I just think it's, well, I don't know. Thanks, thank you very much, Daniel, and thanks for being here. All right, so yeah, an uncommon type. Yeah, see, I've never heard of a hybrid or an annular total. Interesting. So, Dave, that's going to be a really, really great one where you are. This unique class of central eclipse, where some sections are annular while other parts are total. The duality comes about when the vertex of the moon's umbral shadow pierces Earth's surface. At some points, will fall short of the planet along other sections of the path. Oh, I suppose if the Earth were truly flat, that wouldn't happen.
Well, you'd have some strange shapes for some of the eclipses.
Yes, you might.
And Cliff says, sorry, the internet is so slow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that, Cliff.
Yeah. So they definitely go into it more with times, where it crosses. Oh, is this what Dave was talking about? No public access to Barrow Island, I guess, is over there too. All right.
Yeah, I guess Dave was saying the only city or town that's actually in it.
All right. Oh, and they really dive into it. How long it is. It's 49 kilometers wide. Sun's altitude is 67 degrees. These are just wonderful, wonderful tools as well. All right, so, and I think, yeah, see, it picks up there, but like I said, I put them into a different tab so you can see the penumbral. This is kind of gives you its footprint, the footprint of the moon on the Earth. Yeah, look at that 1,000-year canon of lunar eclipses. Fred as legendary, and he will be remembered for many, many years. All right, so the second one is the penumbral lunar eclipse and descending node in Libra. Okay, so they really get into details. I mean, this is just a terrific site, and you can find so much stuff here. You have plenty of rabbit holes to explore on this page. So the part of Earth's penumbral shadow. Let's see, it's shown in figure 3. Is this figure 3? Okay, they're gonna.
That is.
Well, no, I think they have a link to it. So actually, let's go with that. Let's see what they show. Figure 3. Oh, yep. See, they delve into it a little more detailed in its own page. Yeah, look at this. No eclipse visible. Eclipse at moon set. Eclipse at moonrise. All eclipse visible. I think I would have drawn it the other way, but you know, these are great resources. Have at them. I will provide the links in a little bit. So yeah, again, great details. Where, when, all the different parts of the Saros series. I mean, there's stuff I never even heard of. All right, and then we get into, whoops, not that one. This one here, the annular. And here we have that, well, I'll just say NLM until I know the better word, because we do have sort of a similar figure 8 in part of it. But this is where this one goes across. So we'll get some of this one, Jeff. We're kind of in this area
we'll have
here.
a partial. Yeah.
We'll have a partial. But again, they give you lots and lots of details for the Western Hemisphere. Most of North, Central, and South America will be in the path of the moon's penumbral shadow. Okay. See, I thought this was for... Oh yeah, it is an annular solar eclipse. Okay. I don't know. Because this is what they look like for the solar eclipses. North Pacific, they give you the time in UT. You're going to have to translate for your area. Okay, there's a word I've never seen. So, yep, and they show 245 kilometer wide corridor, much bigger footprint for this kind of eclipse.
Yeah, David says, I guess you know the moon is moving away from us at 3 centimeters a year. In the future, there will be no solar eclipses possible.
No total solar eclipses. And I thought it was 1 centimeter a year, Dave.
Yeah, 1.3. I mean, given
not that
the
much
distances, yeah.
But that's like millions of years, right?
Right, yeah. And yes, we'll get annular eclipses and partial passes, you know, but will we be around by then? Don't know.
No.
And he says, doing the math, it seems most likely that the last regularly occurring total eclipses will happen about 650 million years. Yeah.
So I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. You're not going to lose sleep.
Yeah, they talk about how long. 3 hours and 34 minutes. The moon's anti-umbral shadow traverses a 13,800 kilometer long track, covering 0.57% of the Earth's surface. So just absolutely dive into any of these you want. They have some nice books that you can get if you really want. I think the next one's over here. So set it up for the partial lunar eclipse, October 28th. Last one of the year. So basically our eclipse season for this year is April through October. Once again, placed for the Eastern Hemisphere.
I wonder if that coincides with earthquake season.
There's no season for this. Or like somebody who says, oh, it's a Santa Ana season. What?
Yeah.
For totals. Yes, totals.
Yep.
Yeah, there'll be other kinds still, I expect. But because we do have this regular cycle of the moon orbiting the Earth.
Yeah, and the moon will come between the sun and the Earth, and or on the opposite side of the Earth. And
oh yes.
And if it's farther away, it just won't block as much of the sun.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is kind of a unique situation where the sun is far enough away and it's a certain size, and the moon is closer and is a certain size, and it just perfectly covers it upon occasion.
Of course, in 650 million years, I'm sure we'll have the tech to make the moon just be bigger.
Oh, okay.
Let's just make the moon bigger. Then it'll work out.
Right. because we want that total solar eclipse. Okay.
Yeah, drill down, light off a few nukes or whatever super sciencey techie thing will be by then, and expand out the moon.
So if you like eclipses, I encourage you to check out all these pages. What is next here? Oh, here's more information about Fred. And I want to talk to him a little bit because he really has been doing this for a very, very long time. And he is, in fact, retired from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. His primary research involved infrared spectroscopy of planetary atmospheres. He also became NASA's expert on solar and lunar eclipses predictions and created NASA's official eclipse website, which is linked there. He's been called Mr. Eclipse. And he's gotten some other folks involved too, Mark Lippmann, and I've seen another name with these as well. I've forgotten. But you'll come across it here, I am sure. Oh, here it is. Let's see. He published the comprehensive 5 millennium canon of solar eclipses, 1999 to 3000, with 5,000 years of solar eclipse diagrams and maps.
Minus 1999.
Oh, minus 190. Oh, okay, you're right. So that is before. What's BC?
Yeah, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's where the 5,000 years. I was like, wait a minute, 5,000? Nope, it is for a longer period than I thought. So he published a complimentary volume 5 Millennium Canon of Lunar Eclipses. So 5,000 years of lunar and solar eclipses have been figured out, courtesy of Mr. Fred Espenak.
Yep. Okay.
What a body of work is that?
David says, I've traveled to 6 magic total solar eclipses around the world in the last 20 years. Please tell people to watch for the diamond ring effect. It's a corker.
Yes. Yeah. See, I didn't think about that. They got a really good point.
Both rings at the start and end.
Yes, that's true. So if it's a total solar eclipse, you'll have a variety of effects. Go ahead and put us up on the screen. You'll have a variety of effects because of where. So the sun's going to be there. The moon's going to come across, right? You will see totality, of course, but right before it gets to totality, and right before the moon leaves totality, you'll have a couple of different things, and one of them is called Bailey's beads, and one of them is called the diamond ring effect. And the Bailey's beads is kind of little dots of like the solar prominences that will sort of appear outside of the moon sphere.
I thought it was just the valleys between mountains.
Well,
the light coming through.
You might be right. I was thinking it was part of the prominences, but I think we got another comment. Yeah. So let's see if somebody out there knew, or if it's a different thing.
Yeah. So the darkest and spookiest was Cliff and I in North America, USA. Flowers closed up and birds went to sleep. It was dark.
Yeah, I didn't get that for the one I went to.
2017 couldn't be better weather in Yellowstone.
You had really good weather. That's wonderful.
Well, you were out in the desert territory, right? There probably weren't a lot of plants to.
Well, we were in for the eclipse, total solar eclipse in 1991. We went to Mexico. We traveled from Ohio across the country down to La Paz, and there's probably pretty desert-like there. So I thought I saw another one. Is that?
Oh, David, why is it called Bailey's beads?
I don't know.
Just a guess. Bailey named them.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't, but that's just a guess.
So there's some effect where you see just kind of little red dots at some portions of the moon, and you may be right. It was the valleys and the mountains making that different.
Cliffs. And we will see you two again.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, 2024. Yeah, it's not too early to start planning for that, people. If you want to come to the United States, it will be a little different than the 2017 one. That one came kind of across the country from upper northeast corner to kind of the northwest corner to kind of the southeast corner. This one's going to be coming kind of north and south across Texas and Ohio and a couple of states in between. Those are the ones I just know for sure. So Bailey's beads, one of the effects right as it's just about, and then when the sun kind of still peeking out just a little bit, you get a very bright spot and you want to put your glasses back on. Please, please protect your eyes when you're looking at eclipses. Anytime the sun is at all visible, you want to protect your eyes.
And
you can take them off when it's totality. Only during totality, though.
Yeah, and one of the ways to check your solar filters and your glasses and stuff is to hold up a piece of paper behind them. If you see any bright spots, that means that there's something wrong with the filter.
Yes. Well, and the thing I read about testing them is just hold it inside well before your event and hold it up like to a lamp. If you can see any light coming through it at all, it is not good. Buy the stuff now, because the closer you get to the time, they're going to have a lot of scammers out there just trying to make a buck, and these things will not be good. They might look right, but they will not be the right kind of protection for your eyes.
Or you won't be able to tell if they're right, because the scammers.
No, you can't. You can look, like, just hold it up to a regular lamp in your home, and if you can see any kind of light at all, they are not good.
Well, I meant at purchase time.
Oh, I see.
If you're ordering them online,
yeah,
they'll make them look exactly
the same. They will look exactly the same, but they will not be the right thing.
Yeah. Scott says the effect is named after Francis Bailey, who explained the phenomena in 1836.
Oh, thanks, Scott. I love you folks. This is great. It's our Gestalt brain here. All right, so let's see. Now, it was named after him, but we don't quite know why. I think it's probably the mountains and the valleys.
Yeah, it's my guess, but it's just it's a memory that's so bad that I'm calling it a guess.
All right, and so to get back to the diamond ring part, you've got that very bright sun that's peeking through, and you still have kind of a ring around the moon. And go back to the shared screen.
And David is kind of on the same impression that I have. I was under the impression it was the last light rolling over the craters on the moon.
For the diamond ring effect?
For the Baileys.
For the Baileys. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. I think
the diamond ring effect is just the light peeking out.
Yeah, just as they're starting or finishing, they're just slightly apart.
And it only looks that bright because it's high contrast, I think.
Okay, well, the sun is just very bright. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this picture in the middle here. The prominences are what's going to give you this kind of filament type effect. This is a very good picture, and it's probably a composite, because when you look at it, you can see something like this, but when you take photographs, you lose some of the parts of it. You can take different photographs to grab different things and then put them together like this. I think this is probably what this is, a composite photograph. And this is actually a U.S. stamp. See the Forever USA right here on the edge? That's a real stamp that someone, maybe even it's a picture of Fred's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Cliff says gaps between mountains that the sun shone through Bailey's beads. Yep. Okay, so there we go.
Right. Yeah, and I kind of remembered it as we were talking, and as Jeff mentioned, it was like, but this is from the prominences, I think. This is the effect of the prominences, to have all these glowy filaments there. All right, so definitely check it out. Fred's done an enormous body of work here, and a lot of them are available for sale. So a little plug for Mr. Espenek. Oh, and then there's another page of the 5 volumes of Eclipse Almanac publication series, including maps, diagrams of every solar and lunar eclipse from 2021 to 2070. Each volume covers a single decade. Oh, that's cool. 2021, 2030, and so on. All right. I did want to kind of make a special mention of this page, because Dawn called me the other day, and we were just having so much fun with the Scientific Visualization Studio, and I found a page of a NASA eclipse imagery. That's why I wanted to tell you about it, because there's some cool pictures down in here, and a lot of the NASA photos.
Oh, the dark spot.
Yep, the dark spot right there. A lot of the NASA photos are in fact in the public domain. You may use them. Go ahead and cite your source. I mean, it's just polite, and this is a nice composite image.
Is that the
international.
ISS? Yeah.
Yeah, ISS running across for this eclipse, for this partial eclipse.
Photo bombing the sun.
Yes. And we do have this. Let's see. This, I think this was. Yeah, this is Soho, and it's kind of a constant eclipsing tool.
Mhm.
And they actually found a lot of comets this way. I think we got another.
Yep, just popped in.
Yeah.
David says, I have in my possession several glass plates taken in the late 1890s, and a couple in the early 1900s of solar eclipses. Incredible, and by today's standards, such an ancient way of doing astrophotography.
Well, the tech changes
Yep.
constantly, so. All right, let's see what else is here. Oh, and they have some nice. Oh, here's a diamond ring.
Yep.
And these little things are kind of getting to the Bailey's beads. Oh, they're more like this. They're more like
Yeah,
this.
those are the Bailey's beads right there.
Right. Yeah, they're kind of red like that. That's what tells you. So this looks like it's a series from Phases of Totality. Oh, there you go, 2017.
Yep.
From Salem, Oregon, by the Williams College Expedition. Jay Pasachoff, also a big name in this. Very cool. And then there's nice composites like this. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So I wanted to make sure you knew about this page too. And you can do lots and lots and lots more than just look for eclipses. In fact, I think you can put in any kind of search term right here. Over 8,900 visuals. All right, so let's see. Oh, and Dawn and I were looking at was you can actually figure out the moon phase for a particular time. I think it's, where'd it go?
Oh, that's here. Libration. Has nothing to do with drinking.
No, that's libation. All right, so some really fun stuff in here. Oh, and I'm going to mention this real quick too, because this Observer's Handbook is also a great resource, a great tool. It is, however, over $10. In fact, Dawn got it last year, at the end of last year, and she paid quite a bit more than you are paying right now. I think it's, what did I see, about $24 US dollars. And it can be had on this page too. This is the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, and it has much, much more than just upcoming astronomical events, reference information. Has a lot of great stuff within it. Let's see. Oh, I think that might be the topic of a future show, but for now, that's what we got for eclipses. Again, it's not meant to be exhaustive. We just want you to know that there are some places that you can go and get a variety of information, whether you want just sort of general, or you want to deep dive, or you want to really go down a rabbit hole. Alrighty. Anything else from?
Nope.
Yep. Okay. I guess we'll go on to the next part of our show here.
Okay, some stellar events this week, March 10th through March 17th. March 12th, as we talked about, time change, we spring ahead, which means that when it's 2 o'clock, our clocks will now say 3 o'clock.
This is the hard one.
Yeah.
Harder.
Yep. Especially because I have to get up early that morning. But March 13th, Globe at Night begins a new project that runs from the 13th through the 22nd, 2023. In the Northern Hemisphere, you look for the Orion or Gemini. And in the Southern Hemisphere, Canis Major or Orion. And remember, you go outside, take pictures of the constellations and submit your report to their website.
Yeah, we've got on good authority. This is very important work. So
yeah, this is for dark sky charting.
Right.
Yeah. March 14th, last quarter moon. March 15th, Neptune and the sun are in conjunction. Though I don't think you'll see Neptune much.
Probably not.
That close to the sun.
Probably not.
March 17th, Friday night show and another citizen science project. Find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. And Pluto and the moon are in conjunction. Again, you'll see one of those. Also, Mercury is in superior conjunction.
Yeah, and I think that's Sun, Earth, Mercury.
Yeah.
No. Mercury's between. Sorry.
So that'd be inferior.
Yeah. But Mercury must be on the other side of the Sun.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
I have a chart somewhere.
Yeah.
And you could probably look it up. If you just do a superior conjunction type of search, you'll probably find all kinds of great stuff. All right, some other activities and events. Regeneron Science Talent Search has a virtual public exhibition of projects. Go ahead and share that. There it is. That's going to be Sunday, March 12th, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the USA. Satellite 23 is going to be March 13th through 16th in Washington, D.C. This is a live event. You can get a free pass to the dealer's room if you go to this website. The 6th round of Nominate a Student with Perseverance is announcing their awardees on March the 14th. And we've been watching. We have not seen any other rounds coming up. So if you like this kind of thing, you're interested in seeing this, check it out. The Great Orion Dark Sky Festival is March 16th through 19th in Panamint Valley, California.
And I believe they're going to be having a light show for it.
Oh. You just messing with us?
Yes.
Of course. Okay.
It's a dark sky event.
Okay. All right. 24/7 over here, folks. The Space Symposium. Oh, is that the one? Oh, yes. It's Space Education Symposium. All right. I was looking up Space Education Symposium. You may recall Mark Wagner was one of our guests and talked about the one that Jeff was at last November and found this thing, actually. This is April 17th through 20th. At the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Again, another live in-person event. This is hosted by the Space Foundation. And then here's the next one is, yep, there it is. The Space Education Symposium. We finally found it. It's going to be Friday, April the 21st. That's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. It is available, though. You can register online and then, attend that kind of thing. It's a full day conference. It's an 8-hour conference.
Yeah. In fact, we got a number of our guests at the end of last year, beginning of this year, from this symposium. So.
Yeah, and I think there's still some names we want to get to. This is hosted by the Human Space Program, and you may recall this is from Frank White's Overview Effect. He's the guy involved with that. All right. So, any more comments we have? Any more questions? This is the website. Oh, yes. Go ahead. That's, the Eventbrite. Basically, just go to the page and register.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically a free conference. So, very cool. All right. Thanks so much for being here. If you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday. That's March the 17th for Radio Meteor Zoo. It's another Zooniverse project. Sounds really, really cool. Thanks, Jeff, for finding that. Is that a new project on Zooniverse?
I don't know how new it is.
Because I don't remember seeing it before. So
yeah. Well, it's actually not in the space section. It's in the physics section. So it's not new, but it's only 10% done. So either it's new-ish, or they keep adding data. I don't know which.
Oh, a lot of them they do keep adding.
Yeah, I haven't looked a lot at it. It's just we ran out of the ones that are in the space section on Zooniverse, so I'm now looking at those physics section.
Yeah, we'll cover space, science, astronomy, whatever works.
Yep.
We got a lot of turf to cover. All right, so shout out to Cliff and Dave and Scott and
Daniel.
Daniel was here too. And anybody new?
Oh, thanks, Scott.
Oh, thank you so much. And we're so glad you're here.
Nope, I don't think we saw anyone new.
You really make a difference for us. And I hope we make a difference for you too. All right, folks, have a great week. We'll see you on Friday. Good night.